This is how normal chickens sleep at nighttime. Where's Miss Molly? So I've had this chicken that's been going up missing in the evenings here lately, and I didn't know what was going on, but I just figured it out. Is that tasty? So this is the shack where my piggies reside. They sleep in their straw in here. 3.5-sided shelter, meant for pigs. Oh, but there's a chicken in here. Hello YouTube world, Pretend Farmer here. Not a real farmer, just pretending. I've got one of our young little pullets here with us from this fall's hatch. This little lady here, I believe, hatched back in September sometime. So she's about 12-ish weeks old. Now, even though Pretend Farmer is wearing a t-shirt and we're having an extraordinarily warm day, it actually is the first day of December right now. For those of you other Pretend Farmers out there that bought chicks going into fall, you might be asking yourself the question, are these guys and or girls okay to go ahead outside now? What temperature's too cold for them? We're gonna address that in this video. Now, a young chick comes with fluff. They're all fuzzy. They don't even have any feathers yet. Not when they're first born, not for the first couple weeks of their life. Over those next couple weeks, they'll gradually develop and start to push that fuzz out and get these little tiny feathers until after a month or two, they begin to actually get fully feathered, and they look like this. Now, this is a very tiny chicken. This is actually going to grow up to be a Jersey Giant hen. This is one of the ones we bought from the store and added in with our chicks that hatched out of the eggs. The broody hen accepted her and raised her up to this stage. But this is going to grow up to be a very large chicken. She's still very young, like I said, just about 11, 12 weeks old. So what is the rule of thumb for how cold of temperatures can chickens this small stand? Honestly, it really has nothing to do with size. These chickens here, if they're fully feathered, these pullets are good to go for right now. In fact, they've already seen temperatures well below freezing here on the Pretend Farm. We've already had a couple nights down in the teens, been pushing very close to single digits even. So these chickens are still alive and well. They're doing just fine. And it really helps that they've been out with mommy chicken the whole time. You know, that broody hen, even now, they'll still kind of huddle around her for a little bit of extra warmth from time to time. But she's going to see to it that they make it okay. Now, most of you probably haven't done that. Most of you probably started out with a brooder. This is where you need to be careful, because with a brooder, those chicks are under a heat lamp. You're regulating that heat lamp, and you start off around, I think, 105 degrees, 110 maybe. You're going to back that off about 5 degrees each week until you get down in the 60s or so. Then you can go ahead and take that heat lamp away. Here's the thing though, if you bought chicks late fall and you're going into a cold winter, you don't want to take that heat lamp away after they're a couple weeks old and be like, okay, well, I see feathers, they're good to go outside now. Not if you live in Minnesota or something and it's already down below freezing. The key here is acclimation. It's not so much the temperatures that's questionable as to what these birds can sustain, it's how they've been allowed to acclimate to the temperature. You never want to raise chicks up in a brooder for a couple weeks and then dump them outside with sub-freezing temperatures. I promise you they will die. Ideally, you would raise them up like this till you get down into the 60s or so, take their heat lamp away, and once they're good to go at room temperature, you pick a nice day like today. As I said, it's December, but it's up in close to the 60s. So these chicks, if they were raised up in a brooder, today would be the ideal day to go ahead and let them spend some time outside and get used to the weather. As it cools off at night and as the next cold front pushes through in a couple days, they're going to kind of gradually get used to being out here and they'll adapt to it. If today was in the 20s, I wouldn't want to bring them out of my house where it's probably 68 or 70 and just toss them out here. If you're stuck in a place up north where it's already really cold and you say, well, we're not even going to have any more days in the 60s, what do? What you need to do is probably add a little bit of supplemental heat. You can find these little heat plates on Tractor Supply or eBay. And I'm not even talking about a brooder plate. They actually sell like an actual heat plate. It kind of looks like a little miniature flat screen TV. It's vertical, and it's just this kind of screen that just puts off a little bit of warmth. It's not enough to catch your coop on fire, but something like that would be ideal if you're already in a really cold climate and you have birds that are too big for your brooder. You need to get them outside. Put them in there where they have access to that. Just run a cord to it. Make sure they have that for a while, and then you just kind of watch their behavior. When they quit using it, they're not huddling around it anymore, good time to take it away. If they're always spending time around it, I'd let them have it just to be on the safe side. You don't want these birds to go into shock. And a lot of people say, well, pretend farmer, should we bring our chickens inside if it gets really cold at night? No, you should not. You shouldn't do that, and you really shouldn't add a heat lamp to your coop, because what happens, again, we get into that acclimation thing. They're gonna huddle up under that heat lamp, get that really intense heat, and then the chickens, they're not gonna wanna leave it, and when they do, they're gonna go out in the cold. It's gonna shock their system. They're gonna be more susceptible to getting sick, even dying, all because you were trying to make them a little more comfortable. You're really, truly better off just to leave the chickens alone, let them adapt, and let them be in whatever temperature they're gonna be in with no kind of interference from you. We've been a good little chicken. I'm gonna turn you loose. There's mommy chicken and her fabulous 5 chicks, fully feathered, learning to roost. Young cockerel there. He's got bad intentions, you can tell. Well, it's warm out today and we don't need a coat right now. It's pretty much a given that it is going to get cold here soon. And usually we see our absolute coldest temperatures at the tail end of December, first couple weeks of January. That's usually the most brutal part of winter here on the Pretend Farm. So we're going to be prepared for it. Y'all stay tuned. Be sure and subscribe if you're not subscribed to the Pretend Farm, because we're going to do another video soon about how to keep your chickens' water from freezing, how to deal with water that freezes. So it's going to be good stuff coming up here on the Pretend Farm. You don't want to miss it. Till next time, this is the Pretend Farmer signing out.